Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this podcast with me, Noah Jones, and my main man, Lewis Bryon. How are you doing, Lewis?
Yes, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good, Noah. Thanks. How are you?
Good. Yeah, very good, mate. We're coming off the back of watching a slightly boring half of England play and then a good half of England football. What we're going to do, talk a bit about that, and then me and you are going to cut our 33-man provisional squad down to 26 before Friday's deadline because obviously me and you know much more than Gareth Southgate.
Yes, we do.
Last night, England beat Bosnia 3-0. What did you make of it, mate?
I mean, like you said, the first half was weren't exciting at all, was it? It was
Painful.
pretty boring. It was painful at times, and that's the thing. That's what you get when you play them teams when they sit in that low block. And what doesn't help is the fact that the players had never played together. It's all a bit out of sync, and it's really hard to sort of to get any momentum when they're just killing it off.
100%. When you talk about the team not gelling together, it must be really actually difficult because we can all watch the game and go, why didn't he play the team he'd play in the tournament? Why did he do this? But there must be a fine balance between playing the team that you want to start the tournament, but also looking at players that you don't know if are going yet.
Yeah, it's the thing about what's so hard about being an international manager as well, to try and keep, especially for tournaments, try and keep your whole, it will be 26-man squad happy.
Yeah.
That makes a massive difference, keeping the atmosphere in the camp really good. So do you sacrifice maybe having the starting team less minutes together going into the tournament just to keep the atmosphere good? Or you got to find that balance, I suppose, between the two. I think he done it right to get to see other people as well, who he's going to end up picking, who he's going to cut. And then he's still got one more game to maybe, I think he'll go stronger. I think he's more starting 11, maybe with one or two changes in there. But that's the way you got to do it. I don't think you can do just playing your starting 11 every game. It won't work because everyone else will just be like, what am I doing here? I'm not even playing.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. You get a lot of noise from fans, don't you? Why didn't you play this guy? And although I don't think he's worrying about it, there's an element of keeping the fans happy. And it's a tough juggling act for him. So what do you take away from that game? Are you happy, excited, worried, nervous? What did you think we got from that?
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't take too much into the lack of energy in the first half. What I took away is good for fans, I suppose, but not maybe good for Southgate and his decisions on who he's going to pick. But there was I feel like there's a few players now that have given him a bit more of a headache in 100%. Who he will end up picking. Adam Morton, I thought he just carried on his club form for Crystal Palace over in an England shirt. Eze, again, carried the ball very well. He's another one. And he's almost in that bunch of like Grealish, Maddison now. Who are we picking? They're all very similar. You can't take them all. So he's definitely going to give him some headaches, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he said after the game that they've got a lot of talking to do because, like you say, I think you can look at the 33-man provisional squad, which we'll go through in a minute, and you can, maybe there's a couple that you say don't go, but there's a bunch that you go, I'm not 100% if they go or not. And definitely Adam Morton, for me, has been quality, by the way. Looks like a really good player, but hasn't done it for very long. And when I initially thought about it, he wasn't in my team. Then after 45 minutes of football last night, however long it was he played, I was like, he looks good. He could be Declan Rice's understudy when there's no one else that can do it.
Yeah, he progresses the ball so well when it's quick. Yeah. It's without a second thought. Like he acts very composed when he plays on the pitch. And for me, it would be, I mean, we'll go on to it, but maybe him and Mainu, I can't see them both going. Which one do you pick out of them two? So that's another one. I thought Trent, I mean, I feel like he gives you quality, Trent, that which he showed last night, that can be unmatched by pretty much anyone else in the team. He can do stuff that other players can't do. But as a centre mid, I don't know if he's I don't know if he's proactive enough. He's not. He don't get involved long enough for me to want him in an England shirt. Yeah. Like sometimes he'll just be walking about, get the ball and then just spray it 40 yards, which is unbelievable. But is that like really good on the eye pass taken away from the fact he's not doing the other stuff?
It's a really interesting point. And I think we go straight into it now. I'm not going to read out the 33 player provisional squad because I'm sure a lot of people know it. I've got it up in front of me here, but we'll kind of go through section by section and see who you think will go out, and then we'll try and narrow it down to 7. So I'm going to write them down here, but let's start with goalkeepers. Jordan Pickford, Dean Henderson, Aaron Ramsdale, and James Trafford. You don't need 4 goalkeepers. You probably don't even need 3, but it's like an unwritten rule that you do take 3.
Yeah.
So
Why is that, by the way? Why do
it's
people always...
bizarre. What are the odds on 2 goalkeepers getting injured and the third
Has
having
that
to
ever
play?
happened?
I don't think it ever has. No, I was
No.
talking about this the other day. Just take 2. Just risk it.
Take 2 and we can take another one of these like attacking legends.
Exactly. Talk to me. For you, who is the goalkeeper that's getting dropped?
It's got to be Trafford, really.
Yeah.
The other 3 have all been in there, done it before. They've got experience in the camps, and they've probably played. They're playing to a high level with their club.
100%. And Trafford has even gone out of favour at relegated Burnley, hasn't he?
Yeah, you're right.
He hasn't played all the games. A lot of people have been saying Aaron Ramsdale's not played, so maybe shouldn't be the one to go. What do you make of that?
I'll tell you what I just thought of actually is Trafford was in the he won the under-21s competition, didn't he? The Euro. Was it the Euros?
Yeah, he did. And
he saved a pen in the final, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know. That's just creeped into my mind.
Yeah.
But I mean, Pickford saved pens as well. So
yeah,
him not playing doesn't really affect it. I think it's more him being like everyone's seen the level he is at with Arsenal. And it's also he's been in around them 2 keepers a while now in an England camp, all the other boys as well, and he's also known as a bit of a character. So it seems silly to bring someone in who's not at that level yet instead of him.
I completely agree. And you would think that Ramsdale's probably going to get a move away from Arsenal in the summer, go to a good rated club, and then he kind of worked his way maybe into the next England goalkeeper, doesn't he? So he's got to be there. So both of us, James Trafford is out, I'm afraid.
And
sorry,
also,
James.
There was shouts at the start of the season when Ramsdale sort of had his place or like just lost it, that he was going to be the England's number 1, wasn't it? So
100%.
How you can go from number 1 and then 5, 6, 7 months later to not want to get picked? That's silly.
Yeah, I completely agree. Ramsdale's got to be in there. Good character as well, I think, around the dressing room. Defenders, there's quite a few defenders. So let me whiz through them. Branthwaite, Dunk, Gomez, Gahey, Concert, Maguire, Quansah, Shaw, Stones, Trippier, and Walker. Trent isn't listed as a defender, so let's just go with the defenders now. There's a lot in there.
There is. It's still a position we like with the defence, the centre backs positions that are not really nailed down yet, and it's probably our weakest area on the pitch. I think there's a couple in there that I'd definitely get rid of though.
Go on.
I'd go Quansah.
Yep.
Just because like the players around him are just in his position are just better at the moment.
I agree.
Nothing really like on him being bad, but he should. Yeah, I'd go Quansah and then probably Branthwaite again, just because there's more experienced. Yeah, I just feel like I'd prefer even Joe Gomez for a tournament football for England at the moment at centre half, just because of the experience. But that's me saying it, not really watching him week in, week out, not knowing his character. Do you know what I mean? Some characters can really. It don't matter if it's their first major tournament; they take it in their stride. But just from what I've seen, I'd go Branthwaite and Quansah. Go.
I think that's fair enough. I'm agreeing with Quansah. Again, looks like a good player, but to just chuck him in, I know I'm going to contradict myself there because we're going to chuck in some players that don't have international experience. So ignore that. But yeah, Quansah just hasn't done enough for me to get into the squad. And actually, I'm not taking Lewis Dunk.
Really?
I'm not taking Lewis Dunk.
Yeah.
I just think I'm a big fan of Branthwaite. And
so
I've made
by the way.
Effort. Yeah, absolutely. I've made an effort to watch him, and I think in near future he could be starting centre back for England. And so for me, I want him there. I think we've got enough experience at centre back with the likes of Stones, Maguire, Shaw, Trippier, Walker, maybe, that we might not need Lewis Dunk. I don't think he's going to play. He's a little bit leggy. And the kind of outweighing of experience to play time because of the experience we've got in other areas, I don't think he benefits us much.
Yeah.
So for me, it's Quansah and Dunk. For you, it's Quansah and Branthwaite.
Yeah, that's actually a good shout as well, to be fair, because Dunk, if they're not going to play too much, you want someone like a Ramsdale, or when we bring Henderson sometimes, that has been around the camp and knows all the boys and is a big character. And then and Dunk isn't that really, is he? He's not really been in and around England loads.
Exactly.
And then the other side is Branthwaite. It's almost like when you brought Theo Walcott in as a young lad, because you know he's going to play a big part in the future.
That's what I mean.
Well, we thought he was going to play a big part in the future.
Let's not get into that.
So, yeah, I actually don't mind that, but yeah, I sort of just went. At the moment, if I had to pick one to play, then both of them are not going to. Yeah, I'd go.
I get you. Makes complete sense. Let's jump onto midfield. Not many in midfield, because a lot of what we would class midfielders listed as attackers. So, you might not have two gone here, but let's go with it. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Conor Gallagher, Curtis Jones, Kobbie Mainoo, Declan Rice, and Adam Wharton.
Yes, so
it's tricky.
It is tricky. It's very tricky, and you've got to just look. The player I think is definitely out, in my opinion. If I was picking it, this is all me. Like if I was picking, by the way, because compared to what I think Southgate would do, but Jones I'd take out, Curtis Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Just because in the attacking group, I feel like there's a lot of players who are similar to him that are just a high level at the moment.
Yeah.
And then the other one, it's going to be what we spoke about earlier. I've got Wharton or Mainoo. Okay, I think it's got to be one of them that will go. I think should go and will go, just because they're probably fighting for the same position.
Yeah. That's rough, isn't it?
I literally don't even. I've not even decided. I don't really know. You'd probably have to go Wharton out, like on paper, but I feel like there's games where Wharton could be more effective than Mainoo. I don't know. It's hard. It's very hard.
It is really hard, and what it feels like, weirdly, is that it has to be one of them that goes, and that's a really tough decision to make. I'm actually going to save them because I might be able to take them both. Whether that's the right decision or not, I don't know. I'm agreeing with you, getting rid of Curtis Jones, which does seem slightly harsh because he's very good for Liverpool, but for some reason, he's one of the first that I say no to. And I can't really quite put my finger on why.
Yeah.
You might have explained it well.
Yeah, I have the exact same feeling, to be fair. Like the exact same fault. He's one of the first I've thought in that whole list, that, especially out of the midfielders / attackers, that should go. I don't know. I just feel like the others have all been all pretty much like big stars within their club, like the people he's fighting for: Eze, Grealish, Maddison. Yeah. Whereas him, he's not always even a starter for Liverpool. Most of the time he is, but then he's not like they've got like Salah, Nunes, Jota. These, even McAllister. They're all to me are bigger names than Jones, and have more of a take control of games a bit more. So that's probably why our initial thoughts are like maybe Jones should be the first one.
That's a good point. I'm
gonna go Wharton to go.
Just taking Wharton out.
I feel like I just feel like I'd have to do it. I feel like there's more times I'd probably prefer Mainoo off the back of his form this year, and especially in that FA Cup final performance. That was ridiculous. So
100%. I don't think that's a terrible shout at all. Feel bad for him, but he's got 10 years of England games that it looks like. So I'm going to leave it for now because I'm still not 100%. I mean, I had my 7 when this list first came out. My 7 was quick and easy. Like, this is live now. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
it was that game last night, wasn't it? It didn't help us.
It really is, and I'm such an advocate of saying, like, one game doesn't change anything, but weirdly it's changed things for me. So let's jump onto the forwards. Like we said, some of them may not be forwards in your opinion, but they're all listed as it. Bellingham, Bowen, Eze, Foden, Grealish, Gordon, Kane, Maddison, Palmer, Saka, Toney, and Watkins. There's a lot in there.
Yeah, there is. I think I've got 2 to get rid of, and you've got 3.
You've got 2 to get rid of left, yeah.
Yeah, so again, I'm going to go on to the striker first. The striker, yes. I don't think we should take 3.
Okay, yep.
Just because, again, I would like to take 3, but just, again, with the numbers and the players we've got elsewhere, it'd have to, you can't, I just don't see how you can take Toney over Watkins now. The last camp, I thought maybe I would take Toney over Watkins because he 100%. Played the 4 or 5 games for Brentford, looked really good, scored, looked good for England in them camps as well. The March one, I think it was.
Yeah.
Since then, he's gone a bit mute.
He hasn't really done anything, has he?
No, he's not done a lot at all. And Ollie Watkins isn't slowing down. He's looking sharp and effective.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Ollie Watkins gives you a different dynamic to what Kane does, and Tony's more similar to Kane.
Yeah.
So that's probably my thoughts with it. I'd go.
Isn't it crazy
Tony
with Tony that 6 months ago when he wasn't playing, we were talking Arsenal would have to pay 90 million for him. Are you going to get 40 mil for him now? Do you know what I mean? Like that quick. He was in the England squad. Now he's not. He was worth 100 mil. Now he's not. It's a shame because he was balling out, wasn't he? But yeah, I agree with you. For me, Tony does not go. Just hasn't done enough. I was actually surprised that Solanke didn't get in over him in the provisional squad. But that's another story. Obviously, we've got no Rashford here, which is a big omission. And maybe I'm starting to think, was it a mistake?
I think so.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, good. Southgate stuck to his gone against his usual form of picking his favourites. Rashford hasn't been in great form. Don't take him. Now, when you look at the squad, he gives you something different to all of them. He gives you out and out, gun it down the wing, counter attack pace.
Yeah.
We don't really have that. But
Gordon maybe, but he's again like he's on form. He's doing well this season. He's the man of the moment. But I don't know. When I look at Rashford and Gordon, I think I'd be a bit more afraid of Rashford as a defender.
Yeah, I completely agree. So you need one more name to get rid of. Yeah.
So I'm getting. I had 3 down. Like it's going to be one of these 3. It's going to be one of the 2 actually, Eze or Maddison.
Okay.
Just simply because I had Grealish there as well, but I'll keep Grealish.
Yeah.
Just simply because Maddison, I think he could even be potentially at some point a starter for England. Like if he gets the right form without injuries, of like a whole season under his belt.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just look at the players he's competing against. He's got no hope. Let's be real. Like he's competing against 2 of the best players in world football, any country, any position. Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham. Like I just don't see how he's ever getting in front of them at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Grealish and Eze, they're more. You can shift them out a bit wider. Them 2 are very similar. So I've got to get one of them 3's got to go.
Struggling, aren't you?
I don't. It's the thing. It's Grealish or Eze. So Grealish, that Eze or Maddison. It's just I'm gonna get rid of Maddison.
Yeah.
But that hurts me to say a lot. Just because of Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham. But yeah.
Do you know what's really surprising? I think that's one of the easiest shouts.
What, getting rid of Maddison?
Yeah.
No way. I just love him.
Purely because he's not going to play.
Yeah, that's it. It is that. That's
I'm not saying he's similar to Foden. Palmer can play there as well, or Bellingham. But I don't think he offers anything different that is better than what we've already got. I think Eze can offer us something different. And you saw last night in that first half, Eze, maybe Palmer. Eze was the main one that was doing anything. I don't think Maddison does anything against the low block that we don't already have.
Yeah, I agree.
And weirdly, he's a very good player. He's one of my first out of the team.
Really?
Like I said, just because he doesn't play. He does not play.
Yeah. And it's weird because like it's almost like I think Maddison's a better footballer than Eze. I think he's a better footballer than Bowen, Gordon. But all of them 3 I'm putting in front of him to go for England. That's the weird thing about international football.
Yeah, exactly. We've not even mentioned Bowen and Gordon, and it's like, they're in our team straight away. Which is true, but seems weird in my head. I'm also getting rid of Tony. I'm getting rid of Maddison. I've got one left. We're going to go through the list in a minute, but I've got one left. Oh, mate, do you know who I'm getting rid of?
Who?
Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw? Is he?
I don't think he's going to be ready.
Is he not?
I think he's quite injured.
Quite injured. Well, I don't even know what he's done. I know he's out. I just thought the fact he's gone. Are we doing the classic England thing where we bring someone on the hope that they're going to be ready in time and they're not even going to be nowhere near it?
this is my thing. Obviously, I know nothing about the medical nature of his injury. From what I've seen and heard and read, I don't think he's going to be ready for the first couple of games. So then it's that standard thing. I think we've done this years gone by where we go, but then do we want to bring an unfit player into knockout games?
Rooney with his metatarsal, wasn't it? I remember that.
Exactly. Oh, mate, I'm leaving out Luke Shaw.
Yeah, so then is Ben Chilwell's not in it, is he? Is he out?
Chilwell's not in it. So either Trippier plays left back, or in my opinion, Joe Gomez plays left back.
Yeah, or Konsa can play there, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, Gomez has played pretty much across the whole of the Liverpool back line and is just solid. He's not. Listen, our left back position is not going to be our best position on the pitch. I think we just need someone there solid, and I'm going Joe Gomez. So here are our lists. That has shocked even me a little bit there. My list, my 7 to miss out on the team is Trafford, Quansah, Dunk, Jones, Maddison, Tony, and Luke Shaw. Couple of big names in there.
There is.
Yours, I think, is more obvious. Trafford, Quansah, Branthwaite, Jones, Wharton, Tony, and Maddison. Are you happy with your list?
I mean, I'm happy with it. I've just hearing Maddison out of the team is just, I'm happy with it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we've both said Maddison out. Again, a shock. He's just not better than Foden or Bellingham. And actually, he might be a better footballer than Eze. But Eze, I think, is more likely to shock defenders.
Yeah, he's going to have more of an output, I think.
Yeah. Wow. So there are 7. I'm a bit taken aback.
That left back position, I mean, that used to be, I'm pretty sure in our last 2 tournaments, it would be Shaw and Chilwell. Now none of them are even in it. So, I mean, it could have been even a shout for Tyreek Mitchell to get a call up. I do like a left footer playing left back most of the time. I don't know. It's thrown me a bit that we've not got a really strong, like a favourable left back at the moment that you'd say yes, we're solid in that position. That's probably definitely our weakest position. Now we haven't even mentioned people like Gahey and Konsa, who don't have much international experience at all, but for me they get in. Same.
There's some players on there that are a shock. I think you have to then work out what the defence is. I think that's the key to this team. What is the defence? We will do another podcast on our starting 11, I'm sure. But, wow, James Maddison. Sorry, mate. That's the biggest shock of the day, isn't it?
Well, listen, that's our 7 out. It's a hard decision, isn't it? It's one of the bad things about being an England manager. Everyone would say they love to do it, but it's tough. These are top players. They're like top players of their clubs, and you've got to basically crush their dreams.
100%. And he's got another game that is probably going to give more headaches on Friday before the deadline on Friday.
When is the deadline? Friday, yeah?
Yeah, I think he announces it's Saturday, though.
Okay.
So I think that game's going to be played. He's going to have a bit of a sleepless night. But again, we could watch that game and then text each other like, oh, mate, Maddison's in. Do you know what I mean? It's a horrible conundrum to have.
I think he'll bring Shaw, by the way. I think he'll bring Shaw.
I think he will. If he's injured, obviously bad decision. But I'm going off the basis that he is quite injured. As the doctors and the physios would put it, he's quite injured. But look, we're going to see. We're probably going to change our minds. Maybe we have to do a one reacting to the 7 that have been left out, comparing to ours. But wow, I'm shocked. No Maddison.
Listen, we'll see. We'll see what he ends up going with, but it'll be interesting nonetheless.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing the actual professional managers, 7 that he leaves out, and we'll come back and compare. But cheers for listening, guys. This is why we are not managers, and have a good day.